Welcome to this lecture. So today we are going to study about the various interplanar distances, okay, and the planes in cubical crystal as well as about Miller indices. Okay. So first of all, let us study about the interstitial sites in various cubical crystals. Okay. So first is the cubic sites. So when we arrange atoms at the vertices of a cube, right? So there will be some empty space left at the body center, right? So this is known as the cubic sites. And interstitial sites are these empty spaces, okay, after packing the atoms in a crystal. Alright, these are also known as voids or holes. So as shown here, you can see when we will place the atoms one above the other, there will be some gap in between. Okay, here it is shown by the blue color. Okay, so this void is known as the cubic site. All right. Next, when we are packing atoms in a square lattice, okay, so then we are packing it in this way, right? The atoms are placed one below the other. Okay, and the next layer of atoms in a 3D cubical lattice, it will be placed above this. All right, and this place will remain empty, which is the cubic site. When we are packing the atoms in a hexagonal lattice, okay, so you can see the first layer shown by the atoms A. So the second row is placed between the space of the two atoms in the first row, right? So you can see, so this is the hexagonal lattice, all right? So when atoms are packed in this way, you can see this green color space, right? So this space will be remaining, okay? And the next layer of atoms will be placed above these spaces, okay? So that is when the atoms are placed at the vertices of a tetrahedron, okay? Then this in between some space will be left. This is known as the tetrahedral sites, okay? So you can see here, so when the atoms will be placed like this, this space that will be remaining, that is the tetrahedral site, all right? And the coordination number in tetrahedral sites will be 4, right? You can see here 4 atoms. In cubical sites it will be 8, right? You can see here 8 atoms, right? So after placing the second layer of atoms, that is B, is shown by the atoms B, okay? So then this green color space will be left, right? So that is the octahedral site. That is when we place the atoms at the vertices of an octahedron. Then the space that will be remaining in between, okay, here you can see here, right? This space is known as the octahedral site. Here also you can see this is the first layer, and on top of that the second layer will be placed, okay, and then the space that is left in between is the octahedral hole, and here the coordination number will be 6, right? You can see here 6 atoms, okay? So next we have the calculation of atomic packing factor for various crystals, okay? So now what is the coordination number, all right? So all of these terms are very important, and let us understand one by one what do they mean. So coordination number is the number of equidistant nearest neighbors that an atom has in the given structure, okay? And greater will be the coordination number, more closely packed will be the structure, okay? Next is the atomic radius. So half the distance between nearest neighboring atoms, okay? Let's say these two atoms are nearest neighboring atoms, and this is the total distance between them. Half the distance is the atomic radius, okay? And nearest neighbor distance between the two nearest neighboring atoms, right? This distance is taken from the center of the atoms, all right? Next is atomic packing factor. This is the fraction of space occupied by atoms in a unit cell, and this is given by the ratio of volume of atoms occupying the unit cell. Okay, and the volume of the unit cell. So we will find this atomic packing factor for various types of crystals. Next, the effective number of atoms. Okay, so in three-dimensional lattices, let's say we consider the simple cubic crystal. Okay, so atoms are placed at the corners of the cube, right? Now, in 3 dimension, these atoms are spheres. Okay, so you can see that one cube will not contain the entire sphere. All right. So to cover the entire sphere, we will need 8 such cubes. Okay, 4 at the below and 4 at the top. So 8 cubes will cover one atom completely. Similarly, in 2 dimension, let's say we are taking a square lattice. Atoms will be packed at the corners, and in 2 dimension, atoms will be circle. So one square cannot completely cover the complete atom. Okay, so 4 such squares will be required to cover the atom completely. Okay, so what happens is that contribution of atom of one atom to one unit cell is equal to 1/4, right? And we have 4 atoms, so here effective number of atoms is 1. Similarly, in this cube, since we require 8 cubes to cover one atom, okay, so contribution of an atom to a unit cell will be 1/8, and there are 8 atoms. So here effective number of atoms will be 1. So in this way, we calculate the effective number of atoms in a unit cell. Okay, so contribution of every corner atom in case of 3D lattices will be 1/8. Okay, contribution of every face atom will be half, and contribution of every interior atom, that is body center atom, will be equal to 1. All right. So next, let us study the structure of graphene, and also we will calculate the atomic packing fraction of graphene. Okay, so see here, the graphene, it can be, so graphene is a atom thick sheet of carbon atoms. Okay, all the atoms are here carbon atoms, and this is the structure. All right, and the layers are placed in this manner. Okay, so it has 2-dimensional hexagonal lattice, as you can see, right? Or you can also consider it as triangular lattice. Okay, because one hexagon can be considered as 6 equilateral triangles. Okay, but if we consider the Bravais lattices, then it is a hexagonal lattice. And it will, the number of atoms in primitive cell of graphene is 2. Okay, so here what happens is that although all the atoms are carbon atoms, but we will consider here 2 types of atoms, atoms A and atom B. Let atoms A be represented by this red color and atom B be represented by the B color. Why? Because you can see here, for atoms A, we have atoms on its right hand side, but for atoms B, we have atoms on the left side and the right side is empty. Okay, so their surroundings are different, so they are considered to be different types of atoms. Okay, and obviously these are not Bravais lattice. Okay, so now if we join the nearby green atoms, let us say, okay, so this will be the unit cell. All right, so now the number of atoms in this hexagonal unit cell is equal to, so 4 atoms are completely inside, okay, and the other atoms, so this angle will be 120 degree, right? In hexagon we know this angle is 120 degree, okay, and so their contribution to this unit cell will be 120 upon 360, and how many such atoms are there? 6, right? So total number of effective number of atoms in the unit cell is equal to 4 plus 2, which is equal to 6, okay. So now if we consider the primitive cell, so which one will be the primitive cell? See here, just join these atoms. So this parallelogram is a primitive cell, okay. And there are 3 primitive cells, all right. So the number of atoms in the primitive cell will be, so the unit cell contains 3 primitive cells, so total number of atoms will be divided by 3, which is 2, okay. So here number of atoms in a primitive cell is 2. Now to calculate the atomic packing fraction, let us consider this triangle, okay. So this is the triangle, okay, and then we can also draw this smaller triangle here, okay. So now from this atom to this atom the distance is a, okay. So between two atoms, if a is the translational vector, so this distance will be a. So here it is half the distance, so this distance will be a by 2, okay. And again this distance is a, so from here we can calculate this distance and it will come out root 3 a by 2. Using Pythagoras theorem you can find that this distance will be root 3 upon 2. Again this is half the distance, so the complete side of this triangle will be root 3a. This side will also be equal to root 3a, right? So this is an equilateral triangle, so therefore area of the big triangle will be, using the formula of area of equilateral triangle, this will be root 3 by 4 into root 3a whole square. So we will get this is equal to 3 root 3 upon 4 a square, okay. And area of this small triangle, okay, will be equal to half into base into height. So half into, this is the base, which is equal to root 3a upon 2 into height is a by 2, okay. So this will be equal to root 3 upon 8 into a square, all right. So next, the area of hexagonal unit cell, okay, area of unit cell will be equal to 3 root 3 upon 4 a square